Hi everyone, this is Jessie Zay. I'm from the Coacton Public Library and I am here today to show you how to save tomato seeds. So we had our Homesteaders Club meeting last Friday at the Lions Club Pavilion and we talked a lot about seed saving, and usually we have a friend who has organized our seed library come out and show us how to do everything. Now, they weren't able to make it, and I thought we'd be better if we could have a video to share with you that you could refer to whenever you need it. So here we go, saving tomato seeds. So I have my tomato. It's good to know what kind of tomato you're saving so that we can write it down. And when you bring it into the seed library, then we can tell other people what kind of tomato it is. Now, I will also tell you that I forgot my tomato today. So we were donated a tomato from Carrie's Grocery, just so you know. They have good produce. Okay, so I've got my tomato and I've cut it, and we're going to squeeze the guts and the seeds into a jar. And you want to save the first tomato that ripens because that's got really good genetics. You want to save a couple different plants typically. We're just going to use this leftover one. I think I got all the seeds out of this top part. There weren't many seeds, but that was just half of one. So, right, you see my tomato guts and seeds at the bottom, and we're going to cover that with water. Okay, and we're going to let this sit for 5 days. Every day you can give it a stir, and what's going to happen is the water and tomato stuff is going to ferment. So you'll notice it will start to bubble and look a little funky on top. Don't worry, it's not dangerous. If you'd like to cover it, that's not a bad idea. But if you don't mind fruit flies, it won't hurt it. So you'll see it start to bubble and form kind of a layer on top. And every day as you stir it, more of the tomato parts are going to fall off of the seeds and everything's going to collect at the bottom. Now, usually I would do a whole tomato so we'd have a lot more seeds in here. But since I wanted to most of the tomatoes pretty good, I was just cutting off the kind of bruised part on top, and we'll save the rest. But those seeds are in here, so usually you would have more, but for just the couple that we did, we just need enough water to cover and kind of keep everything submerged. All right, so this is going to sit for a few days. It's not a bad idea to label your jar. If you're doing a bunch of tomatoes, then I know, this one is the San Marzano tomato, or this one is the cherry tomato. I always forget after 5 or so days. So we'll let that one sit. Now this one, my husband and I were canning tomatoes, and we had a lot of seeds and pulp left over, so we said, these were awesome tomatoes, let's save the seeds, and then we can share them with our group. So it's been a few days, and we swished, and as you saw before I swished, everything was kind of on the bottom. So now we're going to go about washing our seeds. The first step, even before you do that, is, like I said, to label. We're going to use these coffee filters to dry our seeds, and I'm going to write on the coffee filter before it gets wet the date. It is 9/12/2020, and my seeds are from a San Marzano tomato. You want to put the date and the variety and any other information you think would be handy. Is this from 1 tomato or 2? Is it from the beginning of the season or the end? Those will be really handy to know how the seeds are going to do. Or if I don't know the name of the seed, I might just write where I got the tomato from. Okay. I do like to save seeds, even if it's not something I grew. Maybe it's something I really liked, and then I could grow it again. Okay, so we've got our water. We're going to start to pour off our water and our stuff, because all the good seeds are at the bottom. Pour off most of the pulp until the seeds start coming out. There we go. And then we're going to add some clean water. Give it another good swish and we'll pour off more. So every time you're doing that, you're rinsing the pulp off of the seeds. And the seeds will stay at the bottom. So. Now we want to save the seeds, but we can get a little aggressive. See how there's quite a few seeds in here, but I've still got some chunks of tomato. So I'm going to rinse it one more time. Make sure nothing's attached. Looks like they're all separated pretty well. And then we'll pour it off again. This time we'll try and get all the water off. So now I just have my seeds, okay, with a little bit of water because we're going to need some water to dump it. Okay. Let me get this out of my way. I'm going to use a plate. You could use a bowl with our coffee filter, my labeled coffee filter. Okay, and I'm going to get all the seeds kind of together. I'm going to do one good dump. Ooh, there we go. I think I got all of them. I missed a couple. Let's save you seeds. Now the fermenting process breaks up the tomato off of the seed. There's a couple other types of seeds you can do that with, ground cherries, or you can do it with cucumbers. But a lot of things you mostly want to just ripen as long as possible, like way past when you want to eat it. And then you'll scrape out the seeds and let them dry. Okay. Great. So now I have all my seeds on my coffee filter, and I'm going to lift it off so we get all the water off. And I'll put it on another plate to let it dry. We see our seeds and our label. Once this is dry, I'll fold up the coffee filter, and that will be what it lives in until next spring when we start it again. Now, hopefully, everything will be behind us, and next February, when we get together to work on our seeds as a homesteader club, or if anybody else is interested, come on and join us. We divide up the seeds that everybody has saved, and we put it in our filing cabinet that is a seed library. We have all kinds of seeds. We've got lots of squash and beans and tomatoes and all kinds of things. So I hope you'll come in and check them out. Don't be afraid to knock on the door and ask if we've got anybody in, because you can always come in as long as you've got the space to yourself, or you could call and make an appointment. Alrighty, I think that about covers it. Let me know if you have any questions or if there's anything else we could do a video on. I'll see you guys at the next Homesteaders Club. Bye-bye.